Hi, I'm Scott Occhiogrosso and I'm a partner at Block O'Toole & Murphy. I remember one case in particular where we represented a man who was really seriously injured in a car accident. The defendant said that they had a turn signal and it ended up being a head-on collision between the two vehicles. And our client ended up severely injured and had multiple surgeries on his spine. He was a hard-working man, he was a family man. He was a sweet, simple person and severely injured, not able to work anymore, and really terrified that he wasn't going to be able to provide for his family. He sat through depositions, and when he talked about the things that he couldn't do with his young children, he ended up in tears. Going to mediation, we explained to him, like we always do, that something could happen, nothing could happen. There are mediations where you get a little bit closer. There are mediations that blow up in 5 minutes, and then there are mediations that can get a case resolved. And this case, frankly, we didn't have a lot of hope because it had been extremely contentious. The defense attorney was from somewhere else, really didn't practice here, which can be a big problem because in other parts of the country, people value cases differently. It was just one of those where every day of the case was a knockdown, drag-out fight. So going to mediation, we weren't really optimistic. And for the client, we wanted desperately for things to work out for him and his family. And we went to the mediation, and what was interesting about it was there are times when you get a first offer and you can tell by the first offer that there's a good chance you're going to be able to get the case done that day. Maybe you're going to get the case done, or you get a first offer like this one where it was a case where we were looking for multiple seven figures to resolve the case, and the first offer was $150,000. And that gave us really no sense that things were going to go well. And I remember going to report the first offer to the client and all the hope in his eyes, and telling him what the first offer was, and his mouth literally started shaking, and told him again, listen, it's a process. If it turns out that it's not worth us staying here, we'll tell you, and we'll fight. We'll go all the way to trial. We'll do what we have to do. And then what proceeded from there was, over the course of 3.5 hours, there had to be more than 30 offers and adjustments between our demand and the offer. And it was grueling because there was such small incremental increases from $150,000, and the case ultimately settled for over $4 million. I remember when we finally got there, going back into the same room and looking at the client and going in and telling him it's done, and you're never going to have to worry again. Your family's going to be taken care of. And his mouth started shaking again, and he smiled and he started crying, and he hugged me, and it felt like his legs were going to go out from under him. And that was one of those days that that mediation was really, for all the hard work, it was a blessing, and it was great to be able to do that for this client and his family.